The Southland Museum and Art Gallery will close its doors to the public indefinitely on Thursday after its buildings were deemed to be potentially earthquake prone and a risk to staff. The Trust Board of the museum, which employs 41 staff, was recently told the buildings may be unsafe after a peer review of a 2013 seismic assessment. However, Invercargill City Council Chief Executive Claire Hadley says she's confident the council took reasonable steps back in 2013 given the context of legislation at the time and the planned redevelopment of the facility. That redevelopment is up in the air after the Community Trust of Southland decided not to commit $5 million towards it. However, Mrs Hadley told Otago Southland reporter Timothy Brown the council is committed to an arts and culture presence in Invercargill.
The Art Gallery Trust Board has resolved that the museum should close by the end of this week, and we are looking at what alternatives we can make for the provision of services and for the retention of staff. This council is committed to a future existence of a Southland Museum in whatever form may eventuate from discussions.
So does that mean that seismic strengthening of the existing facilities is a possibility?
Absolutely. It means that all things will be considered. We need to look and see what the community values and what is valuable to the city.
However, that assurance is cold comfort to Southland Arts Society Chair Marion Miller. The Society's City Gallery in Invercargill had to close late last year due to a lack of money and volunteers. Marion Miller says the indefinite closure of the Southland Museum and Art Gallery marks the death knell of arts and culture in Invercargill, population about 55,000. She says the council has sat on its hands for too long when it came to redevelopment of the facility, and today's move is, and I quote, appalling.
That museum has been on the upgrade list for at least 10 years, and people have mucked around forever, and all the tourists go there. It's an iconic building, it's a destination, and where the hell will visitors go now? What about our social history? What about all the things that go on in the museum? It's disgraceful.
Mrs Miller says arts and culture is a big draw for Invercargill, and today's announcement will impact tourism in the city and wider region. The Invercargill City Council says decisions on the next steps for the building and the staff will be made in coming weeks. We're also trying to find out what happens to the tuatara that are there, about 100 of them, including Henry, who I think is 110 years old. Population of Invercargill about 55,000 from memory, roughly 220,000 guests through there. So on a per capita basis, that is a pretty impressive visitation rate.